Anyone? The one that you have, you write your own? Yeah? Okay, cool.
We have a workmate that acts like a bot.
No. It's just warming up. Okay.
Okay, cool. So there is this new hype right now for making bots. Everybody's making bots. Microsoft is making bots. Facebook has a new bot framework that they just shared, I think, last week. So yeah, everybody is making bots, and I just wanted to show you that you can make your own bot too, quite easily with Python. So I want you to present Santiago Ramón y Cajal. This is our bot. He has been with us for the last, I don't know, a year, maybe not a year, but quite a year. And it's been super cool because it's super easy to create new functions for Santi. So we are just two who write code, but we have write quite cool things. So I'm going to try to show you live coding, how easy it is. So in this directory, I just have the token that I have to use, but everything else I'm going to create it right now. Okay, so let's start with just the file that will be running our bot continuously. So I have just to import the model from AsyncBot. AsyncBot is the Python model that we will be using, and we have just to import bot and create an instance of it. So let's create an instance. Okay, this instance just needs some basic information to be able to run. One of them is the API token that you can find quite easily in the Slack website. The other one is the directories where your plugins will be at, because the idea is that you write plugins for it. So you have just to say where those plugins are, just like it will be like Django, just the directory. In this case, let's create a directory called plugins. And a default reply that it will reply whenever it doesn't know what to do, whatever you ask them to do. So let's say that it's just that's it. So let's get the token so we can get it working. If I have any typo, please tell me now, because if not, it will give an error and it will take more time. Okay, and just let's create the script so we can run it. Okay, and we just need to bot run, and an infinite loop will start and we will be listening to the conversations or channels where you invite the bot. So okay, we have our rumpy. Let's create our first plugin. So I want to make the bot tell jokes. So I'm going to install a Python module that already has a lot of jokes. So it's called PyJokes. It's quite well known in this community, and it's made by some guys in the from my city, that it's Basque Country. So yeah, just install it and let's create a directory. Plugins. Let's make Python find it. Because it's not nothing will come. Okay, so let's get to the fun part. Sorry. Jokes.py. So it's super easy. You can create your own function, and it just needs a decorator. So we just first import the decorator. In this case, we will import listen to. The listen to decorator, what we'll do is it will be checking a regex every time in each channel the bot is in, and whenever it matches, it will run your own function that you write. So we just have to pass a regex. So let's say that in this case we want jokes, and let's define our joke function. Okay, so now it's the important moment. We have to pass the message attribute that will be the one that will allow us to easily send back things. So in this case, we just need to do a message send, and it will send back whatever we want. So in this case, I'm going to import a joke. So from PyJokes, import joke. Easy. And what we do is just ask for a joke, but not any type of joke. We want category jokes, so category jokes. Okay, so that's it. And this should be running, so let's test it. I'm sure there will be a typo, so please patience. Okay. Do you see any typo?
It doesn't recognize the pattern.
Maybe it's the plugins.
Oh, yeah, sure. That was it. Okay, seems it's working. Let's check it out. Yeah, it's online. So if I say him just hi, it will not recognize it. So yeah, he doesn't get that. And if we go to a channel and we start writing something, if we write joke, it will return us just a joke. So it will be a Chuck Norris joke. So what else can we do with this? Yeah, another cool thing is that it can reply directly. So you can ask something directly to him, or you can make him react to some comments. So imagine that you are making some transaction with a database, or you are storing something in the database using this using your bot. Then it's just as easy as saying that you want to listen to anything that it tells you. Say something. Let's import also reply to. Okay, so this will work only if you ask him. So you have to mention the bot's name. If not, it will not work. Okay. Un minuto. Just 1 minute, please. So you can message reply. So it will reply to whoever asked him anything, or if you want to do something else like react, you can just react with a thumbs up. So that will be plus one. That should be working. Yeah. So let's test it. Yeah, that's the. Okay, and it reacted, as you can try to see here, and that's it.
I just forgot to say that the landing deal should be 5 minutes. I kind of intentionally didn't explain that before. So someone should take time for me for my landing talk. So yeah, go ahead. So how do you want to do it? To signal the time is about to end. and having everyone. It's pretty common to have a signer from in that case, Jolly, the host. So what's going to be the signer? To have 1 minute left? Yeah, but for them to know when to close. One clap, or maybe this thing?
One clap.
One clap. Okay.
Good neck.
Oh, good neck out as well. We have to try to improve these line talk sessions as well. Some jokes in the next. I'm ready. I'm gonna just present out a very small lightning talk about a Cloudton. A Cloudton is a tool that we have been working in with David Arcos and Edu Bellido, which is a tool to compute Amazon costs. We have quite ambitious expectations of that, like not only Amazon, but right now actually it's very simple. Okay, it's very simple to install. You can do it by pip install. It's very young, 0.12. And then it has two commands. One is the list command, which prints out a list of the current prices that Amazon has in its webpage. Anyone has tried to scrape this webpage, by the way? Because it's awful. not because of the line, but all these prices are stored in an embedded JSON, which is embedded into JavaScript, and then scrubbing that, it's really, really, really hard. Or at least it was to me.
There's a page that it's called, I think it's easy2instances.info that has the information.
Yeah, but it's not very nice to scrub as well. I checked that out.
But it's nice to use.
Right once we finish the module, the part of the code to scrub this out from the JavaScript code, which is embedded into this page, Amazon published an called API, which is just a set of JSON files in some S3 buckets. Okay, then the tool, well, I wanted to show up, this is the GitHub repository, probably changing. I want just to show up Edu and David contributions as well. And then what I'm going to do, I hope this is pretty nice, that I'm creating a content environment called demo Cloudton, which runs Python 3.5. Yes. And then I activate demo Cloudton, and then I pip install a Cloudton. Should be more or less fast, thanks to the cache. And then if I do a Cloudton list, it will take a little bit of time, which I was not expecting to. Now what it's doing is just going to that page and taking the prices. Currently, a Cloudton is only working for computing prices on EC2, reserved and on-demand instances. So if you're using spot instances, this tool is not yet useful for you, but we want to improve that. Well, this is a table with many columns. It's mixing current and previous generation instance types, but it's showing up the price on demand, 1 year no upfront, all the options of the reservations that you could have, the reserved instance that you could have, but this is just the price. What happens if I already have instances? Well, there is the other command, which will take more time. So I hope not being really slow. Report what does is, once you have the CLI Amazon toolset configured in your account, it uses your credentials to go to your account, get the list of instances that you have, check when the reservations are expiring, what are the prices that you paid when you reserved them, and what would be the prices that you would get if you reserve them now again. We are willing to put more features, like for example, adding other prices, and I don't know, for example, changing the currency, or also having a warn of what would be this instance, if I change the instance type for the next reservation, because I'm not using it very much from CloudWatch metrics, how much money I would save. It's going to be, okay, yeah, there it is. And then what we have here, well, it's going to be a little bit of a mess. I can see which instances are stopped. I hope this is, you just believe me. Which instances are stopped, if they are running, which instances are reserved, and this will be the price of the new reservation, I think. Yeah, it's the order price. We got some API change. One thing that was very crappy is that to know the reservation price, you need to find out this. The Amazon API is not showing up which operating system is running the instance. So the only way that we found to do that is to get the startup logs from the instance in the system logs from the API in there and look for some string. So probably if you're using Windows, it's not going to work very well. With Linux, Red Hat, and other variants, it's working pretty well. And I think it's okay. Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to give a very short presentation about comprehensions in Python. So how many of you know what comprehensions are? Oh, that's a lot of people. That's great. So you can go have some beers and pizza. Nothing new here. So basically this is a list comprehension, but it's the most usual one. The comprehension is basically a way to avoid using loops. That's the easy way to say it. Basically what you will do is create a list from an expression that has three basic parts. The first one is what are you going to do with the expression? In this case it's just the x, the initial one. Then you have the middle part that it's an iterator. In this case it is for x in range. And you have an optional third part that is a conditional. So in this case what this is going to do it's going to iterate for range, so all integers from 1 to 10, and it's going to check if this number can be divided by 2. Then you will get this number as a list. So if we run this, we'll get all even numbers. There are three kinds of comprehensions. You can use comprehensions for lists, you can use comprehensions for dictionaries, and you can use comprehensions for sets. So, what does this mean? That we can have the exact same code for a set. We just need to do here. Same idea, the only difference is that if we have two x's that have the exact same value, what's going to happen is that we will get it only once in the resulting set. Not very useful in this case, but in other cases where you want to get names that are not repeated in a list or stuff like that, it's very useful. As it's a set, it's not ordered, as you can see. But, well, that comes with that. When you want to have a dictionary comprehension, it's a little bit different than set comprehensions or list comprehensions, because you also need to specify how do you want the value assigned, not only the key. So in this case, what we have is you have to say the key colon and then the value. In this case it's very simple, but obviously you can create more complex expressions here. And the same kind of expression we had before. Everything else works exactly the same. And then if we run these, obviously we get this. So for each one of the values we get a different result. Oh, I changed the expression here. Sorry about that. Should be exactly like the other ones. Yeah. Any questions so far? Good. So, obviously we can do kind of more complex stuff. For example, we can nest comprehensions. This doesn't mean that you should do that, but this kind of works. So let's first run it, and then I'm going to explain what it does. So what's this? This is basically a 3x3 matrix, an identity matrix. And how do we get that? So basically what we do is, we don't see the whole line, so I'm going to So what we're doing here is we have this comprehension here, and then we have a second comprehension here. Yep. Okay, so basically what we have here is the first comprehension, and then we use the values from this comprehension in the other one, and we end up with a matrix using that. And just a last example before we finish. So we will have this. This basically, what it's gonna do is it's gonna get all the numbers that are not primes between 1 and 50. Then it's gonna get all the primes, basically subtracting that, and it's gonna print the primes directly. I know it's not the most efficient way to do that, but it's a very good example of what you can do with very, very simple code. Otherwise it can get messy, and if you just want the first primes, it's okay. It's efficient enough. Well, that's all basically. The only missing thing I have is that I have 4 PyCharm licenses from JetBrains that are giving away for this meetup. So I'm gonna take 4 random names out of the attendee list. And we're gonna print it. So if you wanna check that your name is here, it should be. So I'm not cheating or anything. And we'll just run this. So the winners are Natalia, Padilla, Pau, Benet, Faust, Terrado, and Pascual Guerrero. If you're so kind to come here in a while, I'll give you the licenses. If you don't want them, we will give them away on the next meetup. Thank you very much, and see you then.
One thing more. In first place, I just forgot that you should do that in the beginning. Thank you to Skyscanner for hosting us, and also for getting pizza and beer now. Okay, so don't go out running. You can go to have some pizza and beer. Thank you everyone for coming.